मेरा घर देखो कोई सरप्राइजिंग होगा कि ये लड़की जा रही है क्या?
Shall we start?
Yeah, I suppose you can start. Veena can start.
Yes, ma'am.
Veena, are you ready? Okay, we'll
Yes,
start then. So good evening, dear participants. Hearty welcome to the fourth day of this 1 week online international faculty development program on trends and trend setting in the mid 21st century, organized jointly by the Department of English, St. Joseph's College for Women, Visakhapatnam, and English Language Teachers Association of India, Visakhapatnam chapter. Today's topic for the day is developing e-content. Now I request Mrs. Veena Spandana, Assistant Professor, Department of English at St. Joseph's College for Women, to introduce the resource speaker, and she will be the moderator for the day. Over to Veena Spandana.
Thank you so much, Sudha ma'am. Greetings, everyone. I'm Veena, Assistant Professor, Department of English, St. Joseph College for Women, Visakhapatnam. I hope in yesterday's session, Mrs. Vicky must have enhanced our knowledge on developing English language proficiency. We have another extremely efficient resource person, Dr. Santosh Mahapatra, who will be addressing us today on developing e-content. Dr. Santosh Mahapatra has completed his PhD in English language teaching at the Department of University of Hyderabad. And he finished his MPhil in language education with English for Science and Technology as an area of specialization at IFLU University. Before joining BITS Pilani, Hyderabad, he taught MCA and Integrated Masters at the University of and worked as a teaching assistant at IFLU. His current research interests are online English speaking second language teacher development, digital literacies, and critical language in education policy studies. Dr. Mahapatra teaches academic English and supervises PhD students at BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus. His research interests are online teacher development, digital literacies, and critical educational language policy analysis. Apart from being an e-person, he works as a convener, Department of Research Committee, and a member of editorial team of BitScan. He enjoys doing photography and cooking. Okay, before I invite him to take over the session, a gentle reminder for all the participants to kindly fill the feedback attendance form at the end of the session, where the link will be posted in the chat box. Now, I request our resource speaker, Dr. Santosh Mahapatra, to start the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Please unmute and speak, Doctor. I muted all. Thank you so much for disturbance.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, nice to meet all of you. I'm Santosh. So in this session, in which we're going to talk about developing e-content. I wanted to highlight the last part of the title, which is not there. It should be for developing e-content for teaching language skills. in most of the why I'm highlighting, I have a point here. If you look at research on use of digital tools in language teaching, it has been kind of established that when you take or adopt a tool-centric approach, that means you start with tools, then think about what skills you are teaching. It's not going to work really, effectively. It's not going to be effective. What is going to work more effectively is if you start with what you're going to teach and then think about what tools will help you teach the skills or the components better, okay, which will help you teach more effectively. That should ideally be your approach. So as an English teacher, I request all of you, or English language teachers rather, I request all of you to think about very carefully about what skills you are teaching, and then think about what tools will be suitable for teaching those skills and components more effectively. Now let's see what I have today, what I plan to do in this session. First, we will start with a second. Yeah. So we will start with first thing. We will start with exploring your digital practice and needs because there's no point me talking about things which are unrelated. So we will start a bit with what you're doing and then get into what can be done to improve your practices, because you may be already doing a lot of things which are really good. Let's explore that to begin with. And then we will talk about how we can how we can create audio and video clips, podcasting. These are the things. These are things we'll talk about in the second part of this talk. The third thing we'll be focusing on will be documentation, presentation, and animation tools. Last one, surveys, polling, and quizzes. These are the topics you gave me. I did not choose one of the topics as such because I thought I will talk about it. Obviously, why I didn't choose to talk about it. But after after that we have this exploration of your practices and needs. So what I'll do here, I will share with you a link. Just give me a second. Just a second. I want you to go to menti.com and use the code 65807823 and respond to the question I have posed there. Can you do that?
The link is not active, sir.
This is menti.com. Just go to menti.com. That's the one. And then then use the code. Okay, I'll share my screen.
So menti.com is asking for the code.
Yeah, so I mentioned the code 65807823. It's there in the chat box.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Paste.
ओपन है।
Mahesh Singh, can you mute yourself? Can you hear you?
ठीक है ना?
Mr. Mahesh Singh, can you mute yourself? Thank you. Okay, we have only 8 responses till now out of 74. Can you respond a little faster?
Sir, excuse me.
Yep.
Have you given the link, sir, or we have to open ourselves?
I have given the link in the chat box. Also, you can open yourself. You just type in the address bar menti.com. It's given at the top. I have highlighted it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So I can see that many of you teach more than 16 hours. Only a few of you teach 8 to 15 hours. Which means, I don't know. I mean, let's look at the next question. I'm going to the next one. Try to respond to the next question at least quickly. And keep the menti.com, that thing open, because we may be using a little more of menti.com. Yeah, your identities are hidden here. Nobody can see who has said what. Okay, so you can respond to my questions freely, because I don't know who is saying this. Okay, I mean, I cannot identify you at all. So talk about, or respond to the question honestly as possible. Okay, this one is coming faster. We have 15 quick responses. Wait for 30 more seconds. Okay, I think that's it. Not many people are able to respond. I don't know why. I'll just check the chat box. Yeah. Time constraint is an issue. Okay, I have got answers to 2 questions. Expect you to participate a little more in the next one. Yeah, just the password. You can copy and paste the password, which I'm typing in the chat box. You can just copy and paste the password. You don't have to do anything else. Okay, I'll go to the next question. Give me a second. Stay on menti.com. I'll give you one more code, which I expect you to use. And here the code is, I'll type it in the chat box once again.
But we cannot see your screen, sir.
Yeah, I know. I'll just show you my screen. Just give me a second. I'll just type the password. Same menti.com, password is changed. I'll share the screen now. So I wanted to know whether you are familiar with the tools that are used and the availability of these tools, whether they're accessible, whether they're paid or not paid, what for the purposes they're used, and what has been found to be effective, how to find the impact of those tools in language teaching. I'm talking about English language teaching situations in your classrooms. How familiar you are with those tools will tell us also about what we can talk about in this session, what we cannot. Three tools are available for writing. Which one is more effective than the other one? You have an idea. Or which one is available, which has been made available recently, something has come up and which is really, really good. Are you familiar with that? Are you aware of which one works and why it works better than others? So that kind of information, if you are aware, then this is good. Okay, we have 17. I'll go to the next question now. Next one is related to the issues of privacy, security, and ethicality. What you can record, what you cannot record, what you can share, what is a violation of copyright, what is not, how to find copyright-free materials, how to record students, how to get permission from them, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable in the court of law, what is problematic, what can create security breaches, how to stop security problems when you are using something, a video or something, which is an invasion of privacy. There are a lot of regulations available. Are you familiar with those regulations and the repercussions of your internet use or digital tool use? Are you familiar with those things? Because there can be serious problems for, let's say you are taking up, to something, a table or a chart or a picture from Google and pasting it. It's piracy. It can be piracy. You can be sued for doing that. It can be an act of theft, stealing things from somebody's intellectual property right. So that kind of thing. Are you familiar with those things? You know that this is legal and this is illegal. Are you aware how to select from Google what kind of images can be selected for the classroom, which you cannot just take and use in the classroom, what is a violation of privacy there or a violation of intellectual property rights? Are you familiar with those? If you are not, then you are in danger again. Okay, I'll stop sharing. One last question I have. I don't know tools. It's okay. It's perfectly all right. Not knowing is not problematic. We'll try to learn a few things and see what we can do here, to improve our practices. One last set of questions. Give me a second. And try to answer honestly as possible. Here I have one more code, and the code is, I'll just give me a second. I'll type in the chat box the code. Use this code. Does your institution pay for digital tools you need for teaching? Because most of the very good tools, the excellent ones, are always paid. You have to pay for those ones, or the free versions are not as efficient as the paid versions. So does the institution pay for the tools? Because this will give you an idea what I can talk about. Why should I talk about paid tools where you have to pay and you cannot pay? Institution doesn't pay. If it doesn't pay, then me talking about those tools will be kind of serious wastage of time.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah,
It's just mentioned as option
option
1.
1. Yes, that is what we are going to say.
So what does it mean? Option 1, option 2, option 3.
I just little faux pas on my part. Just give me a second.
Or you can just announce it.
Yeah, no. Just give me a second.
No, sir.
Can you give the clarity, sir?
Just give me a second. It's 62628174. I'll just paste it there for you. Yeah, you can respond. Sorry about the faux pas. I wrote it, but I could not include it then, and just messed it up a little bit. Yeah, so this gives me an idea what I should be talking about. I may not have to talk about tools which are paid, essentially because you are not really getting institutional support. And I mean, talking about financial support when it comes to buying tools or subscribing to tools which are paid. So we'll talk about free tools mostly. Okay, so we have 16 people which responded to this question. The platform which I'm using for polling here, this is a polling platform and considered to be perhaps the most popular polling platform. It's called mentimeter.com. I'll just type the name in the chat box so that you can also note down and use in your class. It's called mentimeter.com. You can use a free version of the tool. For quizzes, you will have 5 questions you can include in the tool and on this platform, and you can use for free. Beyond 5 questions, if you want to use at one go, then you have to pay. But what I do, I create two questions on for, in one presentation, I create 2 questions. So I keep creating like that. So I don't have to pay, but I can create any number of questions I want. You can do the same thing. So note down mentimeter.com. If you have not used this, you can start using in the classroom. This is a very good formative, assessment tool which you can use in the classroom for finding out the basic understanding of certain concepts in the classroom, whether they have understood, whether they something like that. You do quizzes, same kind of thing. You can create quizzes and all on this platform. Okay, I'll go back to my slides. Now, we talked about these things, and I saw that from this, the information I received from you will help me give direction to this presentation in some way. It won't be a detailed one because I have constraint of time. If you have queries later, you can put it on that ELTI platform or write to me. I'll be able to respond to your questions. Better if you put it on ELTI or just write to me on that same platform. So we'll start with creating audio clips and podcasting. We'll start with for what purpose you use, you need audio clips and podcasting. Can you write in the chat box? What are the purposes for which you need podcasting or audio clips? Listening activities, okay, to teach listening, okay, that's a good one. So you will create an audio clip and then use it and then ask your students to listen to it and then teach them, you know, listening skills mostly. A little bit of speaking also can be taught. Yes. So yeah, and maybe a little more than that. You can think about how else you can use, but I'll teach you. I will here demonstrate, and then I won't call it teaching. I'll demonstrate how to create audio clips and what you can do with you can podcast. These are the things I have in mind: teaching conversation skills, public speaking, note taking. In listening, I'm talking about note taking is especially something talk, teach. And the next one is we'll talk about or feedback. But let me start with this. I will share my entire screen and show you how to do this. I don't know how many of you are familiar with, are you familiar with Audacity? Yeah, anyone who is familiar with Audacity?
No.
You're not? So you can download a software which is freely available. It's called Audacity. Okay, OBS you are familiar with is fine. Any software you think is fine with me. But you can download Audacity if you are creating audio files for podcasting. Audacity is really, really good. So download it, it's free. It's used by me. Vishwanath is saying, okay, that's really, really good. So you can download this, and once you download and install, you will get a platform like this. It will look like this, what I've shared here. Move this to the side. Yeah, this will look like this. Okay, what you can do is you can record your voice and create a, like I recorded here. This part was recorded by me. I recorded it by clicking on this. This is record. So you click on this and it will automatically record your voice. And if you want to edit it, I would suggest you copy this portion, okay, Control C, and then do a control, you go down like this and say Control V. That means it will create a copy of it, which I have done. I have created this. I'll play for you. Okay, and click on solo. I just want to play this one, not anything else. I click on solo and then play it. To play it, you need to click on this, this part. I don't found anything other than that. That is not necessary for me. Can you hear anything from the clip?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So I created this and then created the same clip here. Okay. Now, how will Audacity help me? Okay. Just let's go back to the same clip again. Okay. Here, when I'm playing, till this portion, till this point, it's nothing is there because I'm thinking how to start and then I start. Because it's just a kind of, naturally I did something just before I came here for this presentation. I created this. So what you can do in Audacity will help you remove all those pauses. So you creating a podcast for your students or for somebody, what you can do in Audacity, you can, remove this portion. So select this portion with left click, and then you can always cut this. Okay. For cutting, you have a tool available like here. you can see scissors. Okay, just click on that. It removed that. What I'll do, I'll remove the rest of the things also till here. Anything that is there, I remove the pauses. And I remove this pause because there is one more pause. I don't like it. Too many pauses here. One more pause is here. Remove that. So your speech will suddenly sound so good because you are not taking unnecessary pauses. Those are what I mean to say, all these fillers and all, you can remove everything. And I'm doing it. If you can download and install right away, you can also do side by side, the same thing that I'm doing. Or you can look at the recording and do it. It's very simple. I won't get into details, but I'll do the very basic stuff. And this part, a little more. Okay, now let me play from the beginning. That is not necessary for me as far as this topic is concerned. And I have left so much after this, okay? And the room in which I'm sitting right here is my office room, and there's an AC overhead, okay? An AC has some kind of background noise. When I'm recording, I may have this background noise, okay, which will be recorded along with my speech. What I can do here, I can select this portion. You need at least 5 seconds. So I have 5 seconds here. And then I go to effect. Okay. I say that noise reduction and click on noise profile. Okay. It's done. Noise profile has been created. Then I select the entire thing and then go to again effects and click on noise reduction. That means the entire, it will remove all kinds of noise, whatever is there in the room from here, because you have given the noise profile. The machine needs to know what I consider noise, and to enable the machine to know what constitutes noise, you need to provide a sample, a piece of noise, I mean like noise sample. So I did the same thing first and then say that clean my, my audio piece, I mean audio, whatever I have supplied here. Then it cleaned up the entire thing. So when I play, there may not be any background noise. Other than that is not necessary for me as far as this topic is concerned. So it has removed all kinds of background noise that is there in this room. It has removed everything. So what I'll do, I'll remove this part completely. Done. A little more is there. Okay, so once you do that, it's ready. And then you can always go here and export as MP3 or WAV. You choose the file type you need. MP3 is generally very common. So you export as MP3. You have filtered, clear, nice audio clip is ready. And then you can make it a podcast. I'll show you the next step in podcasting. This is one thing. One more thing is that sometimes when you have this, you may want to, make it slightly louder than how it is right now. Okay. And that is also possible. You can increase the volume, you can decrease the volume. It depends on what you want to do with it. Okay. So, and the playback speed can be adjusted. Everything can be done here. It's not very difficult. And you can also mute if you want. You can mute it. You can increase the volume. You can decrease the volume. You can mute the space. Anything you can manipulate. I mean, the way you want. You can maneuver. You can change. You can do things the way you want. Okay, it's all possible on this, and this tool will help you with that. Where, how much you want to reduce, where you want to reduce, where you want to, make it a little more here. If you want to increase, if you want to decrease, you can do that. And you can create 2 points, say that from this point, I don't want any noise. I want it to be mute completely. You can still do that. You can select that portion and mute it completely. So this tool will also, and so you can explore these other tools are there. There are several other tools which you can focus on and see which one you need and then save it for your audio. And this is a slow process. You start with something and then you explore. I don't want to do everything for you. If you are interested, you will explore, you will learn. But I'm just demonstrating the very basic part thing so that you are not scared when you look at this on your screen. And right now, you know the basic. You will go back and explore a little more and see how you can use each of these tools. And this is very easy. If you still have problems later, you can always write to me on that forum, which I'll share with you later. That, or you can email me. We can have a conversation about that and I can sort of help you with that. If you have any problems, I don't think you will have. That's this part. I'm talking about the audio part. Then the next part is the podcasting. Where is that? Yeah. So for podcasting, I would suggest, I would recommend Anchor.fm. This is the site I would, recommend for podcasting. This is free. You don't have to pay anything for this. So go to this site, create a profile, just log in and create a profile. Once you create a profile, it will give you like this. You can create your own podcast. And to be able to create a podcast, what you need to do is, here, this is my podcast, okay? And I need to click on new episode if I have to click on. But before that, I would like to play something which I have already there. It's a podcast which we created, on our ELTI that India. On that, teachers are contributing their own, what they think about their classrooms, what they think about how they're teaching, how they're using bilingualism, how they're using digital tools. They talk about all those things and then they send me, audio clips. I clean them and then clean those audio clips and upload to this site. I'll show you the public site, how it looks like. For you, this will look like this. Yeah. So this is Mrs. Padmavati. She's a school teacher, one of my favorite ones, very enthusiastic. She created this podcast and shared with me. I'll play that for you.
Mother tongue in English language classrooms. English is taught as a foreign or second language in Indian classrooms. Most Indian English classrooms have heterogeneous groups of learners in terms of their mother tongue, culture, ability to learn, understand, and comprehend. It may be a challenge for many English teachers to teach the language without switching over to the learners' mother tongues. In my experience, banning the use of other languages, that is the mother tongue.
So this is a podcast which Mrs. Padmavati shared with me, and then I shared it on this platform and as an episode. You can do the same thing if you go here and say new episode. Okay. I can either record it or I can upload it. The choice is mine. So let's say I would say my episode. Okay, I can record. So if I have to record now, I say start recording now, I can do that. But I won't do that because recording is slightly dicey. It may not be of good quality and I may not be ready. I want to do everything on Audacity, clean it properly and make it really sound nice and then upload it. So I'll come here, click to upload or drag files here. I'll click on that and then go to some file and then upload the same thing. Okay. Once I have the file uploaded, then you can change, you can talk about the name, you can give it the episode's name and all that you can do. You can, add a name and who can access, do you want charge, do you want to charge for this? I mean, do you want people to pay to listen to you? All that you can decide on this. This is a free platform once again, and this is a very good platform for your classroom. If you want to improve their speaking skills, podcasting is a very good way of doing it, or also listening and speaking both. I would suggest, if you there, asking your students to contribute audio clips when they talk about topics given by you, or instantly asking, or maybe interviews with some people or something like that. You can upload to this platform and then build exercises on those audio samples, audio clips. You can also come together as a department, 4 or 5 or 10 people. You can come together and create a podcast series for your college, for your department, or something like that. You can interview people. You can talk about how you are teaching a particular topic in your classroom, how you are teaching a grammatical component in your classroom. If you are innovative, how you are innovative, what digital tools you are using. You can create podcasts on anything you want. Should be relevant, but think about what is relevant to you. So you think about it, decide, and then create your own podcast. It's quite simple. It's not very difficult. Any questions now? No questions? Okay. When you just one thing, when you record, make sure that you are in a quiet room and there is no noise, and take permission. If you are taking somebody else interview, take permission from them, as per maybe written permission if possible from them, and then upload their clips. Do not upload anything on a public platform without permission, and that's invasion of privacy. Learn more about intellectual property rights. So just type it in the chat box. Type intellectual property rights, and then read about how to respect intellectual property right, what you can do about it. Okay, we'll go to the next one. This one is done. Yeah. Documentation. Generally, how do you document? If you have to document, anyone?
Sir, I make Word documents or PDFs.
Okay, no, I'm talking about if you have to document things. For example, if you're documenting how you plan to teach, what are the tools you're using, what are the tools meant for, let's say, writing, how many are for speaking, which tools are, you have to pay, which are free. Do you keep a do you document these things? If you have not done, it's okay. This is all right. I don't do that also. So it's perfectly fine. A lot of people don't.
Like sir, making PPTs and all.
OneDrive,
No.
sir?
Sorry?
OneDrive?
Yeah, OneDrive is one way of doing it. Yes.
Like making Excel sheets and keeping it OneDrive.
Yeah, you can do that. Yes, you can create an Excel sheet and do that. So there are different ways of doing it. You can do it in that way. You can do it in, there are other ways of also doing it. I did not present a documentation tool because most of the documentation tools are paid tools. Okay, proper HTML based documentation tools are paid tools. So it's not a very good option to pay for documentation. I would recommend going for free tools which are available, easily available to you. So I'll show you one of the documentation tools which you can always use. Give me a second. So here, if you are using Google Chrome, I would recommend you, I would want you to go install an add-on. I'll go here. The add-on is called Mote, M-O-T-E. Once again, it's on my computer already. You can also add to your Chrome. If you don't have, you can type here. It's called Mote. I can't hear you. Your voice is breaking if you're saying something. I will. Do you want me to show you how to install Moat? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
sir, that would be helpful if you just tell them how to install also.
Okay. So I go here, I go to settings. Okay, I go to extensions. And I go here in the extension part, open Chrome Web Store. Okay, and then search here and click on that and type Moat. You have Moat, voice notes and feedback. Click on that. And you can click on here, it will be like add to Chrome. I have already installed, so it shows remove from Chrome. You can say add to Chrome. So that makes it really, really easy. Okay, now once you install this, this is already there. And you can check by clicking on extensions here at the top, it will show, and click on that and say that it's already there. And you can, if you pin it, it will show on screen also. I have not pinned it, just left it. So what I'll do, I go here, go to my drive, or not go to drive, just create a doc. Okay, so Google Docs I'm opening here. I'll create a blank document. Okay, and if you are really fond of digital tools, you can call it my toolbox. So here, anything and everything that you are doing in relation to digital tools, you can keep here on this page, my toolbox. Okay, then you call it, you create 4 categories. Let's say you have 4 categories. You say that writing, and then reading, then listening, then speaking. If you are fond of vocabulary, you can add that. And if you're fond of grammar, then you can add that. Okay. Then in writing, if you want to create further categories, you can create, let's say you're talking about topic sentences or you're talking about paragraph writing. Okay. And you are using certain kind of tools. Okay. I don't know what tools here. I'm just saying that there is some tool available which helps you in paragraph writing. So you do this and click on this, add a comment. And then rather than adding a comment, you add a moat. You click on your moat and it will give you a 30-second to 1 minute time to talk about anything you want. This tool is really, really nice. It's called Turnitin and helps you write correctly. It's extremely useful when it comes to paragraph writing. Okay, so my comment remains there against paragraph writing. If there is a link to it, let's say you have a link which you want to visit, plus you want to keep a record of what the link is about. So to upload the link, let's say the link is let's say this is the link you want to upload there. That's the link to paragraph writing. I click on this, insert link, and paste this one, and then apply. That means the link is saved. Okay. The link is saved, and also what is there in the link is already here. So if I want to recall what is there, it's already organized. I can click on this, play. Nice. It's called Turnitin and helps you write correctly. It's extremely useful when it comes to paragraph writing. So this is what I am telling myself. I have saved for myself. This is my kind of, I would call it, I have my notes here. You can create notes for each category in writing. If there is something related to, let's say, writing topic sentences, writing supporting details, writing concluding sentences, writing thesis statements, using linkers, using correct correct language. All those things you can use smaller categories, insert links, talk about the links or describe the links using moat. This will be good for documentation. Any questions?
How much length we could record, sir?
This one gives you, I think it's 30 seconds to 1 minute. So this will be also useful if you are teaching your students writing. If you want to comment on their grammar, vocabulary, or anything, if they are writing on Google Docs, you can always keep commenting. I mean, write like this, 30 seconds, you can comment any number of times. There is no limit. But each you are doing it, it should be of 30 seconds.
Okay, fine. It's a really wonderful tool.
Yeah, very, very good one. I love this, absolutely. And I use this for my PhD students and my BTech students, sometimes MTech students. Use it for everybody. Wherever there is writing, I use this. This is really good. Use it. It's free.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any questions? No. Okay, we'll go to the next one, which is we'll talk about presentation. Okay, this is my question to you. What kind of presentation tools do you use?
PPT only, sir. PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, anything else?
Canvas we use.
Okay, you use Canvas. Anybody else? No?
Google Slide is also there.
Google Slides. That's like PPT, right? More or less. Canva also somebody is using, Mr. Sunil Kumar. Good. So we know these things, and more or less Prezi also some people are using. So you can explore. Do you want me to demonstrate any of these? Prezi or anything? I'm familiar with.
Yes, sir. Please demonstrate one, sir.
Prezi, sir.
Okay,
Prezi. You can do the Prezi.
Good. So I have Prezi. So I'll go to Prezi directly and show you. So you go to prezi.com. Once again, I'll give you the link here. If you're not familiar with Prezi, then you can go to prezi.com. It's quite nice. And this is good for presentation, but there is something else which you can use for presentation. If you are teaching them presentation skills, this is just for presentations, you can use Prezi. But if you want to teach them how to make a good presentation, there is something called voicethread.com. You should explore that. That's really, really interesting. They can present and VoiceThread will keep that presentation. Others can comment on their presentation. They can improve their presentation and make a next presentation. And they can comment not only in writing, they can comment using oral comments. I mean, talking about oral comments. So that VoiceThread is really interesting. You do that. Explore VoiceThread along with Prezi. Here we have Prezi, so let's explore Prezi. I've been using Prezi for almost 10 years. Love Prezi. So what I do, I click on this, the plus, and create a presentation. So I need to choose one of these, templates. So whichever you like, you choose the tool you like. I like this one, so I'll choose this one. Okay, you choose whichever you like. So once I choose this, I'll just check how it moves. Ah, this is cool, right? Lovely. I'll go to education and non-profit. Okay. This is pretty good template. Okay, I choose this one. Just a second. One second. Just give me a second. I'll just get back to this. 1 second. Okay. I'm sharing the screen again. Okay, I clicked on one of those templates and I chose this template. I thought this is a good one. I chose one. So I name it at the top. You can change the name and say that my Prezi. Okay, you can change the name here. Back to school, say that this is doc. And you can change the name here. Let's say you want to write your name, you can write your name. I wrote mine. If you want to install, if you want to, create more places where you want to type something. So add text, insert. Let's say I have something written, I can always paste something if I want to. Sorry. And this. I create this and type, let's say, if you want to delete it, you can always delete this, but I don't want to delete this right now. I just want to write something here. You type anything you want. Let's say just keep it like that. Okay, I don't want to get into more. So what I will do is here, let's say you want to present a Prezi. There are steps that you can take to add animation to it, which appears first, which appears next. For each slide, you can do that. And to be able to do that, you can always add animation, which comes first. Let's say I'm adding animation to that. And what kind of animation you want to add. Also, you can decide like PowerPoint and say that fade in, down, or fade up, fade from left or right. Let's say left, this one. And so also you can add animation, say that it's fading from down or fading from right. It comes. Type something, let's say this one you want to do this, add animation and do fade up. And this one you say it down or fade from left, something like that. Once you have this, and then you want to check how it looks, you want to present and check whether you can do this. Just wait. I have what animation I have used? These 4. 2. Now I don't want to add graphics. I don't want to. Here, these are the options available to you on the left side. You can add a chart, graph, you have graphic. Hello. Yeah. So these are the ways in which you can add things, and you can add a video, you can add a link, you can add a YouTube link, anything you want to add, you can add finally here. And then later you want to share it. Let's say you want to publish it on the web or something like that. You copy this link and paste anywhere. If I have to play this, My Prezi will play here. Okay, this is coming like this, but you can do it with step by step. You can add further animation to it so that you have the first point that comes first, then the next comes next, next comes next. It can be like that, and you can use something called a zoom tool, which is available in Prezi. You can also use that. Apart from those things, what you can do with Prezi is that you just go back to an old Prezi and show you. Something I made a little earlier. I gave it a name, an ODI name, so that it's not really available to public because I have not paid for it, so it will remain public. But I don't want everybody to find this. That's why I gave it an ODI name so that it's not searchable, and I still keep it private, though it's public. You can do the same thing. You can use a Telugu name, keep it private for yourself. And this is something I have been doing. It's a trick, but this is a wonderful trick. It works for me. Sorry, it's still loading. It takes a while. Okay, till it loads, I'll go back and come back to this thing a little later. You must excuse me for that. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is my and just give me a second. I'm going back to my PPT. That is loading. I'll go back to that in a while after this is loaded properly. That requires like internet. And you can download also your Prezi and carry it anywhere you want. That facility is also available. But in not very sure if it's free right now. But you have to check that. I've not used Prezi in a while to check whether that was available when in the older classic version. Right now, it is a paid version. If you use it, if you want to download the MP4 file and carry, but I have to check whether they have made it free because people were complaining about it. Now, what I will do, I will go back to the next step, which is the animation tools, because you wanted me to show you that. So I'll briefly show you animation. The tool I use for animation is a paid tool. And this tool is called VideoScribe. It is a paid tool, but you can do a little bit of work with a free tool. With the same VideoScribe, the free tool you can do. And there is something which is slightly cheaper version, which you, as an institution, if you want to buy, Doodly is much cheaper than VideoScribe. VideoScribe is very costly. It's very difficult to pay for VideoScribe. But I will show you how to use Prezi. I have it, but Doodly will be doing more or less the same kind of work, but Doodly will be much cheaper. Okay, so here I'm going to show you this thing. My screen sharing got paused. Just give me a second. Something wrong with me. I think I got stuck somewhere. I'm trying to reopen my VideoScribe. If it opens, then we'll continue. Otherwise, I have to restart. You have to give me a minute for that. Perfect. I found it. Thank God. Okay, I'll share my screen and show you how VideoScribe works. Okay, this is called VideoScribe. You will get a platform like this. I'll minimize this part. Okay. This is called VideoScribe. Just before I came here for this presentation, I created this. I'll just play and show you how it looks like. Start with Y animation. Did you could you hear me in this VideoScribe what I showed you?
Yes, yes, sir, we could hear.
Perfect.
Yes, but was not clear.
Okay, because I was speaking really fast, so I can
Thank you.
replay the same thing for you. Okay, so I wrote St. Joseph's College for Women animation demonstration, and I created this. You can also create this kind of video if you want. This is pure animation, okay? And this becomes really interesting if you want to summarize something and show, and you add a voiceover. If you want to add a voiceover to a description, let's say you are teaching paragraph writing. You want your students to remember all the steps of paragraph writing. You taught them, but later you want to re-emphasize what you have taught, then you can create a short 1-minute video with animation like the way I did, and show them these are the steps to paragraph writing. You can do that. You can use it in multiple ways. You can be very creative. I'm just telling you, talking about just one way of using, VideoScribe. How you can create it, it's very simple. You start with the first thing that you should do is you need to, if you want, you can start with a text. Okay, so you click on T here. So if you want to type something, you choose the font you want. Let's say, which font would you like? Any choice? This one? Let's call it, what do we call it? Let's call it our animation. Okay. I kept it in the middle. Let's move it a little bit. Okay, and then I write our animation. I want to move it further down so that you have a clean place. Okay, and if you want to play this, you can always play this. But I can add a kind of an image. Let's say I want to add this one, our animation, and with this one. So I added an animation to this. You can add anything you want, all kinds of images. And then finally, I add a voiceover to this. Click on this, the mic. I'm removing that voiceover. I'm creating a new voiceover for us. This is our animation voiceover for St. Joseph's College for Women. And that's it. Things, if it's shared, it doesn't work. I have to redo it. So if I have created this, then if I have to play these two, things, then I can play from the beginning. Yeah, it'll writes like this. If you want to add, and you can change the speed at which somebody is drawing these things. You can draw houses, you can draw figures, you can draw anything you want. You can add music, you can add voiceover, you can add colors, and then finally you can save it as MP4 file. You choose where you want to save and what kind of file format you want to save, that you can choose. And this is basic animation. If you want to learn more about animation, you can do that. You can contact me, you can talk about it. But this is basic, very basic animation. And all of you can learn this. This is very easy, not very difficult. But ask your institution to give you something like Doodly, which is much cheaper, does the same kind of animation that I demonstrated here. Okay, I don't know whether it's Doodly or Doodly, just check which one of these. I've forgotten which one, but one of these, and animation works really, really well. But again, you have to think about for what purpose you need animation. The only tool that I talked about earlier, the only polling tool I talked about is Mentimeter. I have already told you about that. I would like all of you to share. I will share the PPT with you. I will share with the organizers and they can share with you. If you want me to share the idea, I can also do that. Just give me a second. I'll share the PPT in a second. I have one last thing I wanted to talk about in PPT.
Sir, do share again your screen. It stopped.
Yeah, I have not shared my screen yet, but I will share my screen soon. Just give me a second. Give me a second. I'll share the screen and the link to the PPT. Okay, it's getting loaded. I'll share the screen. I'll share the link with you. But one polling tool which I was talking about earlier and which you should use is mentimeter.com. Please create an account there right away. Tonight, when you go back, create an account. I used Mentimeter with you earlier. When we began, we started with menti.com. And the main site is called mentimeter.com. Create a profile there. Create your quizzes, create other things, the polling, questions and all that you can create there. This is excellent for classroom engagement. I will show you briefly how you can use Mentimeter. Would you like me to show you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So here I go to Mentimeter. I have an account here. Okay. And now what I will do, I will create a new presentation. I click on new presentation. And I have to give it a call it St. Joseph's College for Women.
Share your screen, please.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I should share my screen. Sorry, I'll do it again. I create a code. Once you create an account in Mentimeter, it will look like this, the way what I'm showing here. And then click on new presentation. Give it a name. Here I'm giving it a name called St. Joseph's College for Women. Create a presentation. Okay, create a presentation like that. So what I can do here, I have limited number of questions because this is a free account. So I can create two questions in each presentation. So I have 10 questions. I have to create 5 small presentations, but I will be able to create 10 questions. Okay. But if you are using for quiz, then you can use 5 questions at a time I'm talking about, but you can use n number of times. There is no limit to it. So I will still stay with free because I'm not buying it just because it's freely. I can do all so much. Why should I buy? So if I have to tell you, let's say, what did you learn today? I have a question. So what did you learn? Can describe your learning into words. Describe the learning. Describe your learning this evening in 3 to 4 words. Okay, I did that. Then I have to choose what kind of let participants submit multiple times. If I want to allow, I can do that. Which I allow. How many entries I want? 3 entries per participant maximum. Okay. Now I can create one more slide and add one more question. Okay, so to create one more question, you can add a slide and you can add a question. There are different types of questions you have, like multiple choice, open-ended, scales, ranking, question and answer. You choose whichever. And once you have that, then you go to present and click on this. Okay, then it gives you menti.com and the code is come. Okay, a code has come here. So I'll share the code with you. You can now respond and see how it works with you. Okay, can you go to menti.com and respond to this so that we can see how it works? You can do the same thing with your students. You can give them access to Menti. Ask them to go to menti.com and respond to a question. Can you do that right away? Describe your learning this evening in 3 to 4 words. We have one more, just very briefly, I'll show you one thing left, otherwise more or less on track. Zarina, please don't do this. Can you use the code? Anyone? You can write. Yeah, see, we have lovely comments coming here, animation, Audacity, Mentimeter, Enriching, all kinds of. So if there are things that you want to talk about more than, let's say, more people talk about the same word or same phrase, it will become bigger. So you will have more number of things coming here on screen. This can be a really good thing for the classroom. If you're using in the classroom,
can we copy this and keep it as a photo, sir? JPG or something?
Yeah, yes, you can do that.
Could you show, sir, like
how to do this?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, very simple, very simple. Your name?
Ravikant, sir.
Okay, Ravikant, sir. So what you can do on your keyboard, there is something called PRT-SCR. Search for that if you are using. Okay. PRT-SCR is there. Is it there? Print, is it there?
Yes, sir, it is there.
Yeah, just click on that.
Okay.
Okay. Now what you do, just show you what you can do. Let's say I have this here. Okay, this thing here, and I click on my print scan. Then I type and here I type my what we call paint, P-A-I-N-T. I go to paint. Then I use Control V. That means my entire screen is pasted here. Then I choose which ones I want to take. I choose this portion. This is what I need, and then crop. That's it. And then I go to File, Save As, and then say JPEG, and save it in my desktop and call it Ravikant or Ravikumar. Ravikant. Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Done.
much. That because we can definitely use these things. In class.
Yes, why not? This is really nice. So that's it. Or the last thing I would like you to know is you can use beyond Mentimeter. You can use something we call Google Forms, which is more or less the same thing. But Google Form is good for if you are giving assignments. Google Forms will help you assign marks and create quizzes, create polling tools, create anything you want to do on Google Forms, it will do. In addition to that, it will also help you assign them scores. If you are conducting an exam on Google Forms, you can always assign them scores. And that's kind of convenient. It's kind of a necessary evil. You cannot get away without assessing your students. So sometimes if it's required, then make use of Google Forms and do it. And I hope all of you are aware of Google Forms, right? You know how to use Google Forms. If you have installed Mote on your computer, you can also use Mote with Google Forms. This is something that I'm leaving it to you. You can go back, explore on your own. I'm not going to.
Is that, sir, you mentioned apart from Google Form, one more thing.
I said either you can use Google Forms or you can use this Mentimeter, the one I talked about.
Oh, okay.
And there is something else also that is there. Some people use that called Poll Everywhere, POLL Everywhere. So that also you can use if you want. But I don't like the interface. It's a little complicated. So I will stay with Google Forms. I will not get into Poll Everywhere. I don't like it much. It's a little complicated. That's it. So I will just go back to a quick recap of what we talked about today. The first thing we talked about is that you start with skills, what you plan to teach, which language skills, LS, RW, or grammar or vocabulary, what you want to teach, start with that. Think about what your students can access, what you can access, what you can afford, what your students can afford. Then decide, prioritize which tools are free and easily available and all that, and prioritize those tools. And then use free tools as much as you can, because we saw that most of you can use free tools at this point. So use free tools. Do not get into paid tools right now, because students also may not be able to pay for the tools if they are charged or something. And if your institution is allowing you to use paid tools, it's really good. Go for it. But otherwise, choose free tools. And Google and Microsoft offer beautiful tools. All of you should use. Search for those tools and use those. Apart from that, we talked about Anchor FM, we talked about I didn't talk about Padlet, but you can think about Padlet as a documentation tool. It's quite easy. Again, something that you can explore. I have not explored it as such in this presentation. Prezi, I showed you briefly, but you can explore. Prezi is interesting. And I will go back and check if our Prezi is loaded. This Prezi is still loading. It's not loaded. There's something wrong with my Prezi. I don't know what exactly, but there is something wrong. Trying to present it, but it's. I hope it works this time. Yeah, it's working. Good. Let's go full screen and check out my Prezi. This one I presented some time ago. Yeah. This looks classy. This when some other institution invited me to talk about writing. And for today, this will come like this in Prezi.
No, screen is not shared, sir.
Not shared screen?
No, sir. We can see.
Oh, yes. It's visible.
It's visible, right?
Yes.
Oh, then it's good. So you can use Prezi like that. Like this. I'm clicking and it's coming one by one. I will share this Prezi with you. If you want to use this one, you can use this.
This one? What is software?
I will share the Prezi with you. This is my own Prezi. So all of you can click on that and check the Prezi out. And I think last thing is, would like you to join the Facebook group, which I have built over the last 10 years, been working towards that. We have around 4,800. It was kind of 3 months ago, so it shows 4,500 members. You might be knowing some of the people on screen. So that's it. And you can write to me at this address. I can give you my address. You can write to me in that. I generally respond to all mails. I don't, I may take a day or two to reply, but would you mind some writing websites? One very good, if you are teaching writing, this is for teaching writing, Mr. Sheshagiri. Is it for teaching writing? Yes, okay. So if you want to teach writing, one good place is to start with website. You may not have websites as such, but if you want to,
Sir, please send your email.
I have sent the email to everybody in the chat box. I have shared my email ID with you on the chat box, and this is the Facebook page which I manage. You can join me on Facebook. You can join this on Facebook and ask me any questions. You can stay in touch. You can join this forum because we talk about grants, we talk about foreign trips, we talk about scholarships, we talk about professional development courses, all kinds of stuff on this, maybe conferences, seminars, travel grants, all those things. And most of the things Relo or British Council share, I share on those forums, on this forum regularly. So please make use of the forum. This is your forum. You can make it bigger. You can add all your friends to this forum if you want.
Sir?
Sorry?
Is it a Facebook page, sir, you are using?
Yes. It's called LTI India. It's a Facebook page.
Could you type, sir?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you.
And that's it from my side. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to respond. Thank you.
Veena?
Questions you can ask me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I'm there. Dear participants, do we have any questions to pose? I think, sir, your presentation is so clean. Most of their questions were answered earlier itself.
Yeah, that is one way of looking at it. Or it was so dumb that nobody wants to ask anything. So it can be either ways. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll wait for a minute. Otherwise, you can close. Yeah.
Sorry, maybe quietness sometimes it means that the information which you have given us, it's really scientific, that it needs practice for us to understand each and every detail that you have told us today. And this is brilliant, and we would like if you had shared with us the WhatsApp line that you use, so that when we are stuck, as we practice individually, we can first forward to you the question or for clarification. I think the issue of animation here in Zambia, I think we are not, they're not men, and we are lagging behind. I think there are very few individuals who have that expertise in animation. So to me, it's really a joyous moment and a privilege to learn from you, sir. And I'll be very quick to inquire from you whenever I'll find some challenges. And I'm also happy to mention to hear from you that you also talk about the conferences, the seminars, and the scholarship that you may find. And as one of the
Excuse me. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
I'd like to pursue master's in science or applied linguistics. I'm still trying to find where I can get that scholarship and indeed pursue that particular course. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can I say something, sir?
Yeah, go on. I have shared
Yes, sir.
with you. You have my address there on the profile. I have shared the link with you. There I have my research interest, my contact, my publications, my talks, everything is there. So you can look at it if you find it useful. If you want anything from me, you can contact me also.
Santosh, sir. Yeah, good evening, sir.
If somebody else was talking, yeah.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Santosh, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, I feel, sir, we learned so many things from this today program, webinar. Sir, I have a question, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, please go.
The Blogspot, we are using Blogspot, sir, actually. As a faculty, we are using in our college Blogspot.
Okay.
So whatever the activities we are doing in the classroom, while teaching to the students and everything, we are recording in that, like grammar and reading comprehension and all those things. Now, can we suggest this Blogspot to students also? Especially for what we call developing their language skills. I think Blogspot is a platform for writing skills. Yeah, they can type whatever they are learning. Yeah, can you give some suggestions, sir, how we can suggest to students blogspot.com?
See, Blogspot is generally for improving their more of a creative writing than anything else. Solomon, right? Or Raju, what should I call you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Solomon Raju, sir. Yes, sir.
Raju is fine,
you
or
can
Solomon?
call me Raju.
You can call me
anything, sir.
Generally, I don't use or doctor. I don't use. I request all of you not to mind. Call everybody by name and want all of you to call me Santosh. I'm perfectly all right with that.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
So here, generally, Blogspot is meant for creating blogs, and blogs are generally for general kind of writing, not always for academic writing. Generally, I have not seen many academic writing blogs as such, but you can make it. But if you are teaching them academic writing, which I expect you to do, then it's good if you use Google Docs rather than blogs for teaching academic writing, because on Google Docs, you can comments, you can use mode and give them oral comments, written comments, you can make suggestions, you can make changes, anything you do, they can see. So your feedback will help them improve their writing skills. And teaching them writing skills, feedback. Okay, you are teaching writing skills and not giving them feedback, it doesn't make much sense. So I would recommend you, you start using Google Docs rather than Blogspot for teaching academic writing.
Okay. So I think it will help to some extent to develop their creative writing skills. Yes.
Yeah, creative writing skill, Blogspot is really good. Yes, I agree.
Really good. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much.
And you can encourage them to create vlogs also, videos of those things, so they can talk about it using video, mobile phones, and upload on those Blogspots.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, Santosh. Thank you.
Okay, any other?
Before Santosh and others disappear,
can we
Yeah.
all just switch on our videos and flash a sporty smile for me to take a picture screenshot before Santosh disappears, because grid with Santosh would be the best, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, why
Please,
not?
please,
Let's
please
do that.
keep your videos on. And when I say all everyone, Surya, everyone, and your best smiles, Solomon, Stanley is there, Dr. Shweta is there, Srisha is there with her smile. Vijayalakshmi is there, good. Nagakala is there, so good. So, okay then, I say 1, 2, 3, cheese. Very good. Let's have another take. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Thank you. Thank you, Santosh.
you.
That was fantastic. You know, it was really awesome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Noticing every word.
Hello, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. You can speak.
Yes, ma'am. Can Santosh sir? Good evening, sir.
Call me Santosh. Don't have to call
Okay, so sir, I want to mail to you tomorrow morning. Give me the personal mail to my with a research topic. Can we do that?
Yeah, sure. Why not? You can always mail me. That is perfectly.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Please do
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I will type in. I will talk. I will chat in that. I will do the mail ID.
Yeah, I have shared with you my,
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. I got it. And I will make it is possible to chat with that mail ID.
Yeah, you can always do that. You can send me a mail, and
Okay.
and also I have given the Facebook link. You can find me on Facebook immediately. If you find ELTI India, you will find me.
Yes.
Stay in
Okay.
touch on Facebook. I think that's a good platform.
Okay, definitely, sir. Definitely.
I think we can formally wind up. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm doing it. I would like to thank our Almighty, God Almighty, for blessing us today to enable us to participate in this International Faculty Development Program. And on behalf of all the participants, I'm extremely thankful to our resource person, Dr. Santosh Mahapatra, who made this session resourceful and enlighten us with e-resources like Mentimeter, Moot, podcast and all. It's an exquisite presentation, sir. Thank you so much. Hope all our participants must have enhanced their knowledge and vanished the fear of using e-resources. We are very much glad and thankful, sir. And gratitude is just a word. Maybe I need to add more synonyms to it to thank our beloved PRO, Ramani Dhanraj, HOD, Department of Office Management, for making her presence felt throughout the session. I thank our HOD, Dr. Bhaskar Sudha, for catering us this opportunity to be a part of this development program. Lastly, I thank all the participants for making this possible. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you. And when you write to me, call me Santosh. Don't call me sir or anything. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
And you know, last word, Santosh, the way you kind of handheld everybody through your presentation, it was so comfortable and it was very exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Santosh, for accepting our invitation. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Sudha, for inviting me.
Sudha will not stop calling you Dr. Santosh. That's Sudha. Anyway, thank you, Santosh, once again.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so another good day, 4th day from St. Joseph's College, Department of English with LTI. And I'm sure all of you enjoyed the fruit of today's talk and you learned a lot. And some people disappeared. It was 109 to 42, it came down, but good. That's why I said before, many people disappear, I want to take, but still Tulsi is there. She always stays on till the end. I see Tulsi till the end, her video on, and she's there still. So good. Once again, a big thanks to all of you, and good night. Shabba Khair, Shubhratri.
Thank you, Ramani ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, Ramani ma'am.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
So good.
Ramani ma'am.
Good night.
Giving such a
Good night
wonderful
for organizing such
presentation to all of
wonderful sessions.
What, Vijayalakshmi, you were saying something?
Ma'am, it's a very great program, ma'am. Thanks to all of your team organization, ma'am.
Yeah. True. And
Thank
when
you.
like
Thank you so much.
when Sudha is there at the helm, no, everything goes on well because she prays enough before the whole program is decided. Right? Nagakala, good to see you today.
I was here from the beginning. I just wanted to listen.
Yeah.
And I was enjoying the whole session.
Yeah.
And I love your lovely words, loving words. Thank you so much. It really, it really takes in, like, I feel so close to you. Thank you so much.
Because it's, I think the college, no, it gives us, it teaches us how to love and teach. So
Exactly.
I think it's part of all of us, I think. Nagakala, thank you for those.
Thank you so
Wonderful,
much.
ma'am.
Sir.
Madam.
Thank you. Thank you.
You did a lot of effort, the entire team. My special thanks goes to the head of the department, Dr. Sudha ma'am and Ramani ma'am, and remaining organizers, and Vicky Hale madam also, especially. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay.
My name is Solomon Raju.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you, Solomon. So see you tomorrow once again with another
yeah, thank
beautiful session. See you all.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
night.
sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Nice
Bye,
day. Thank you.
Sudha.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye, bye, ma'am. Bye.
Bye.
You.